post office last week, pulled into the parking lot, and there was a spot waiting for me right in front of the door. Pulled in, hopped out of my car, crossed the street, went inside, and see the line. 3 people ahead of me. No problem. I'm going to be in and out of here in 15 minutes. So easy. One of the customers ahead of me was a mom, busy with her 3 kids, trying to keep them all contained while she waited in line. And just like that, I had a flashback. 17 years ago, when my guys were little, I had a box that had to be mailed. That meant I had to load my guys into the van and go to the post office. Justin was 6, Kyle was 3, Brandon was 1, and not walking. So we load everybody up into the van and we drive to the post office. There are no parking spots in front of the building. No, we wind up in the big side lot, but that's okay. Get out of the van, open the side door, unhook Justin's seatbelt, have him step out and say, stand right there, don't move. Back in the van, unhook Kyle's car seat strap, pull it over his big old head, get him out. Stand him next to Justin, don't move. And as I reach for Brandon, I notice, well, he's asleep. And he's all sweaty. He's got his head lolled to the side, and I think, is it just that hot with the sun streaming through the windows? Or is he getting sick? Doesn't matter, we're here. Brandon, honey, gotta go to the post office. So I'm unhooking his car seat, pulling the straps over his head, and I lift him up, and oh, he is hot. This kid is getting sick. Fabulous. So I plop Brandon on my hip, slide myself out of the van, pick up my box, say, Justin, could you close the door for me? Okay. Justin goes over, he grabs the door. This was in the days before the magic buttons. Some of us had actually closed doors. He grabs the door and he slides it across. It didn't close. Can you try again, honey? He grabs the door and pulls it back open. And he slides it across. It didn't close. One more time, honey. He gets the door and he pulls it open. Slides it across and it bangs on the edge and bounces open. Forget it. Good enough. It's going to be fun. This moment I realized, Kyle, you get to have a choice. Mommy doesn't have a hand for you to hold, so you could hold Justin's hand or you could hold Brandon's foot. Kyle reaches up and grabs Brandon's foot, and Brandon goes, and snuggles closer into me. Oh, fun. So, we're ready. Justin, could you check to see if there's any cars coming? He goes to the end of the van and he looks both ways. No cars, Mommy. Of course there are no cars. We're parked in Siberia. But you gotta check every time. Okay, let's cross the street. So we're waddling across the street. We're going to the post office. Up the curb, and I can see 4 empty parking spots in front of the post office. We get to the door. Justin, could you push the automatic button so the doors will open? He rushes ahead and hits the button, and Kyle says, I want to do it. Lucky for me, our post office has 2 sets of doors. Okay, you can push the next one. So Kyle starts heading toward that magic button, and his brother rushes ahead and hits it again. We are headed for a 3-year-old meltdown. This is not good. Kyle goes, I wanted to push it. And I'm standing there going, you can push them both on the way out. Justin, Kyle is going to push them both on the way out. Okay. So we get in there. There are 3 people ahead of me in line. Fortunately, our post office has this nice long counter where people can fill out mailing labels. It's also extremely convenient for plopping 25-pound 1-year-olds. So I put Brandon up there, and I get the box up there too, and we're good. The first person is called. Slide the box over, Slide Brandon over. It's good. Second person gets called. Slide the box over. Slide Brandon over. And then Justin saw the airplane stamps. Airplanes! He rushes off to go look at airplane display with Kyle following right behind. Justin's just looking. He's pointing out the big ones and the small ones. Kyle is reaching. Kyle, honey, remember, you look with your eyes and not with your... Too late. Can you put them back up there, honey? Well, a 3-year-old's dexterity for pulling something off of a hook is much better than his ability to put it back on. That's okay, sweetie. I'll get it. So, go over, get the stamps from Kyle, and I straighten them back out, get the hole lined up, and hang them back up. Come on, guys, come on. We're not buying stamps, we're just mailing our box. Go back over, and the third person has gone up to the counter, so our turn is next. Oh, thank God. So I need to keep them busy for another minute or so, not too long, and I say, we're gonna play the color game. I see something red. Do you guys see something red? And Justin and Kyle start looking around and finding red things. Now, conveniently enough, the post office colors are red, white, and blue. So we were able to find many, many red things while we were waiting for our turn. And as I realized it's going to be our turn, I have to get that box. So I turn to reach for the box, and I see behind me in line, there's a woman, and she's just sort of smiling at me. And she says, enjoy them. It goes so fast. And I think, fast? I'm not going to make it to dinner. But I know she means well. And hey, anyone who says something nice about my kids wins a spot in my heart. So I smile at her and I grab my box and we take our turn and get up to the counter. And I hustle my guys out of the post office and back to the van. Total time elapsed, probably 15 minutes. Not fast. There was nothing fast about those 15 minutes. It's funny how that goes when you're raising kids. The days can be very long. It doesn't feel fast. And yet the years fly by. That little guy on my hip, Brandon's going to college in August. Justin and Kyle are already grown and gone. So I started thinking about the woman who smiled at me and told me to enjoy them. And for the first time, I really wondered about her life. What was going on in her life? Was she, like me, often so caught up in the minutia of the moment that she wasn't really aware of the passage of time? Was she, like me, wondering where 23 years had gone and wondering what the next 23 would bring? Was she, like me, looking toward an empty nest with equal parts anticipation and nostalgia? And I was thinking all of those thoughts, all swirling through my brain as I watched that mom trying so hard to keep her 3 kids contained in the post office last week. And when she turned and caught my eye, I leaned forward and I said, enjoy them. It goes so fast.